I used to ask myself, why is belly fat so hard to get rid of? Even when I was able to lose weight and gain more lean muscle mass, it was like the fat around my waist would just hold on for dear life. Yet, when you listen to my unusual story, you'll discover that just like many others you'll hear from later, I was able to drop the stubborn fat around my waist and keep it off. And I did it without endless cardio and crazy workouts while eating my favorite foods and living an extremely busy life as an editor and researcher of natural healing cures. Now, like a lot of guys, I was frustrated and angry because even though I would religiously follow the rules of one diet after another, cutting the carbs, doing more and more crunches, trying to decide which new extreme workout program would do the trick, my weight would just not budge. And even when it did drop, I could never get rid of the stubborn excess weight in my midsection. You know, the love handles that would kind of spill over my belt, and that layer that blanketed my abs. It was like my stomach area had an invisible force field that made it immune from any diet or workout I was doing. But that was until I met a certain nutritionist and fitness expert named Glenn, who showed me that by addressing my stomach fat first, before anything else, that I'd lose weight all over my body, and more importantly, because he showed me how to do it naturally, still eat the foods I loved, and work out way less, I'd then be able to maintain my weight and especially keep my lean waistline for the rest of my life. At first I said, yeah, right. But what he was teaching made so much sense after I thought about it a while. So I was willing to try it out. He told me what I needed to do, how I had to stop working out so much, and to absolutely stop doing crunches or sit-ups altogether. He told me to stop doing endless cardio, to start eating more, and I could even have my favorite desserts, but at very strategic times. Long story short, I ended up dropping at least 13 pounds I couldn't shake, and my love handles, my protruding stomach, and that pudgy layer of fat that covered my abs all melted off. Now, my jeans are loose around the waist, my stomach is flat and lean, and there's hardly a trace of any love handles anymore. Now, remember, I'm just one of many guys I've met and interviewed who have used Glenn's methods, and after sharing his methods with me, my view of health and fat loss has changed forever. With these secrets, which I'll be sharing with you in just a bit, all of these men are free of their stubborn excess weight, proud of their leaner stomachs, and still enjoying the foods they love. Again, my name is John. I'm a natural health researcher and practitioner, and by watching till the very end, you're going to discover how to rid yourself of stomach fat for good, and the most resistant and stubborn kind that just won't budge, or at best goes away only to rebound again with a vengeance, and completely fat-proof your belly area for the rest of your life. And yes, I do mean it when I say you'll keep your lean stomach area for the rest of your life. And that's because you're about to see the main cause of belly fat that so-called experts don't even know about, and why all the diets and devices hawked on late-night infomercials will never work. I don't know how long this presentation is going to be up, but if you come back tomorrow and this presentation's no longer there, don't say I didn't warn you. So watch this right now while you still can. I can tell you from my own experience that even though this may sound impossible right this moment, after you watch to the very end and follow what it says, like thousands of deeply grateful people have before you, your coworkers, friends, and family, they'll all be shocked at the staggering transformation your body goes through almost overnight. How suddenly even your abs, that you haven't been able to see in years or even decades, now start to show and get more and more defined. So there's no more excess water retention, no more bloating, how cravings for sweets and junk food vanish, and you have energy that just doesn't quit, and deep mental focus that just comes naturally. And that's just to name a few incredible results I've experienced. I'm going to introduce you to this brilliant nutritionist and fitness expert and reveal some of his secrets in just a second. But before I do, I need to talk about the big lie that's keeping you from having the slim waistline you've always deserved. And I think you'll see why I feel a sense of duty to share it with you. Especially after you hear how a man who was borderline diabetic and was able to bring his blood sugar back to normal for good. Or how another guy was suffering from depression and low sex drive. But when he learned what I'm about to share with you, not only did he get his lean physique back, he regained his sex drive completely. Or how another guy whose cholesterol was dangerously high stunned his doctor when he showed up over 20 pounds lighter and with perfect blood work. Or how you can virtually eliminate the fatigue that comes with the type of toxic body fat I'm about to show you. So you can blast through your days full of the strength, focus, and energy like you had in high school. Not to mention the constant reports of guys who've been able to eliminate energy crashes, bloating, and even digestion problems they didn't even expect to, all without doing a single sit-up, crunch, or counting a single carb. But just a fair warning, some of what Glenn discovered might be kind of hard to believe, and may even seem odd In fact, when you hear what he has to say, you may even reject it. But that's only because he isn't rehashing the same mass-marketed information just to make a buck. You see, he spent his whole career studying the human metabolism, and because he's a holistic practitioner, he looks at the human metabolism in a completely different way. So please stay with me and keep watching. So what's the big lie that's keeping you from naturally having a thin waistline without even trying? The big lie is that belly fat can be burned with eating less carbs or calories and working out harder or more intensely. And an even bigger lie is that some kind of ab exercise can burn fat around your abs and waist. As I'm about to prove to you in just a minute, none of that is true. And a simpler, easier, and more permanent solution exists that you can start tonight. The truth is that there's a nasty looking organ we all have, and it's inside of our abdominal area, behind our ab muscles. It's called the omentum. It's like the word momentum, but without the M. This omentum is like a fishing net, but instead of catching fish, it catches fat. And it does it deep inside our belly. Here's a video to show you just how this works.
If you've got too much belly fat, problems start to happen. And here's the big one. Let's look at the omentum. This is an animation. That yellow stuff there, that's the omentum. And that pad, we're going to get rid of that for a second. There's the liver up there, the gallbladder is the green stuff. And there's the stomach of the food you ate earlier today, and it's being pushed down into the small bowel. Your bowel is going to mix that with bile, the green stuff from the gallbladder. And like a soap, it'll wash it and help it absorb through this very thin wall to the big portal vein. This vein carries all the nutrients to the liver. No matter what you eat, the liver's going to metabolize it and send it out to the body. If you eat healthy stuff, the liver's going to love that. If you eat unhealthy stuff, the liver will turn fatty. This fat liver afflicts a quarter of the population. And then this omentum starts to get ponderously large. It pulls way across and becomes that big beer belly that so many folks have. This is actually what happens inside of your belly. The reason your belly gets big is not because you got a little fat beneath the skin. You get big fat under the muscle, way inside where those organs are that I showed you. Normally, omentum looks like this. See, it's very thin, very dainty. It's like pantyhose, very elegant, right? You can see through it almost. I can see it, right? Now, what happens is, instead of having that nice dainty omentum, you end up with this. Now, compare this to this. There's a big difference there. And that's the difference that I'm talking about. When you have this big pad of omentum here slopping up inside of your intestines, there's no way your body can keep up with it. And it causes coronary artery disease, it causes diabetes, it causes hypertension. That's what I'm focused on today, because this belly fat poisons your liver, causing high cholesterol. It squeezes the kidneys. The kidneys have to jack up your blood pressure because the kidneys regulate your blood pressure. And it also poisons the ability of insulin to work. And without that, you get diabetes.